Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Saturday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to Sydney in particular, of course, to talk to one of the netball premiership players. And of course, she played just actually a little bit further down the freeway though, of course, down in Wagga a couple of weeks ago. Of course, she was playing for the MCUE Goannas. And of course, they won the A grade premiership against the Wagga Tigers. And of course, we actually interviewed her teammates Vashti and Mikaela, of course, in the last couple of weeks. Of course, she actually plays on the goals side of things there at the Goannas. Of course, her name's Sophie. She joins us right now. Thanks, Sophie, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, tell us a bit about the undefeated season there for the Goannas.
Yes, a very exciting season. Very nice to get back out there and be able to play, obviously, with a bit of unknown. But I think we had a really good team this year. It was really great to have V, especially coming in as someone new and having a few new girls. Yeah.
Now, I believe, Sophie, this is the back-to-back premiership year for the Goannas.
Sure is.
Tell us a bit about, I guess, has the premiership sunk in yet, and knowing that you're back-to-back premiers in A grade?
I think it doesn't really feel real that we're back to back. It's a bit odd. I think and a lot of us haven't really played in many grand finals before, so to win back to back was pretty exciting. But yeah, having a new team from last year as well, and just being able to come back and like obviously having a weird season, pretty exciting that we got to be back to back premiers.
Now, tell us a bit about the final series because, even though you actually end up playing the final series twice, because obviously you just went straight through in this second semi-final. Tell us a bit about, because I know your semi-final was right down to the last goal to win the game, and then of course you seem to manage to cruise through the grand final, but we'll talk a bit about the grand final in a moment. Tell us a bit about especially the semi-final.
The semi-final, I think, was a bit of a shock to, we knew it was going to be a close game, but I think we went in a little bit too confident. But I think in the end we fought back and it was not our best game. So I think to win was still like a really good job by everyone in the team. But it was a really tough game, really, like we weren't expecting it, but again, from all the round games, from all the round games, I think we were just ready to go out there and play. And yeah, obviously we wanted to win and it was really good to get the win, but it was definitely a tough fight towards the end. Very last goal, yes.
Now, I know some of your teammates went out to watch the prelim final between Wagga and Osborne. I guess if you went to that game, what was your thoughts on the prelim?
Yeah, well, I did go down to the game actually and was just watching, and we weren't sure who was going to win because they're both very strong teams. So we were sort of looking a bit at both, but around halftime, once we got the idea, we just sort of started looking at Tigers and just seeing how they play and things we can do to sort of bring out our strengths against them.
So, was there one team in that prelim that you did not want to verse?
I think Osborne and Tigers, we just didn't want to verse again. Just wanted to get straight through to grand final. But so yeah, very lucky that we did get straight into grand final and secured the spot.
Now let's talk a bit about the finale. Amazing grand final. I got to watch it on the live stream that they had, and of course I got to watch it again later on this week. But I guess I felt that the game was won, and the turning point of the game was around about halfway through the second quarter into the third quarter. And I mentioned this to Vashti and Mikaela. I guess, was that an A grade in regards to where the turning point was? Is that how you saw the game as well?
I think for me, and I think for a bit of our team, we all sort of took it as each quarter. Like we didn't really think we're going to win this, it's going to come easy or anything like that. Like, I think we all just kept playing, and even when we were ahead, we knew Tigers could come back at any moment. So I don't think there really was a turning point, because we had to fight the whole game for the win. It wasn't something we could breeze through towards the end. So.
Was there any point in the game, Sophie, that you just went, I can actually now enjoy it?
Well, I found the whole game I could enjoy the game, because I was like, you're out here to play netball, it's fun and everything. Like, even though it was tough, it was still a good game and like really fun to play and everything. But I think definitely in the last quarter, when you could see that Tigers' confidence was a little bit down, and that's when we could really utilize that and keep scoring those goals. So I think towards the end, I was singing like, like, this is real, we're gonna win, sort of thing.
How much of a motivation was the loss for the A reserves earlier?
Yeah, it was a big motivation, I think, because like those A-Res girls had been going so well, and they deserve to win, and credit to Tigers for taking the win on that one. But I think we definitely wanted, with only having a couple of Mango teams from the netball in, we definitely wanted to win and prove that Mango is a strong side. But yeah, the A-Res girls did their best, and they did really well. Just unlucky to not come away with the win.
Now, it was a pretty huge day for the club, not just the netball, but the footballers got it done as well, and won the premiership. I think it was around about the same time, or very close to the same time, between the A reserves and the A grade game. I guess, how was it like to know that the footballers got it done as well?
Yeah, it was really exciting, really good thing for our club, I think, and especially like right before we were going to go onto the court, we heard the Mango song playing from the footballers, so we had won, and it was really exciting. I think it was really good for the boys and good for Mango to get another win.
Did they come across to watch the A grade team in action?
Yeah, I think they did. A couple of them after the game, after all the celebrating, came down and watched the last couple bits. And the club's really supportive, so everyone goes down to watch each other and bring down a crowd.
Now, once the final whistle sounded, what was it like? What was your first reactions to it? Because I can tell you by watching even the replay of that grand final, you were pretty excited, but I'm assuming there would have been some sort of relief as well, knowing that he's actually went through the whole year undefeated, not be the team to lose in a grand final after an undefeated season.
Yes, it was very exciting. That final whistle was just a big breath of relief that, we'd finally won, and it was really exciting time. I just want to hug all your teammates, which obviously you shouldn't really be doing, but you're playing together, and I think it's like you're all like sisters, you're all like family. So it was really exciting to be able to win with like your really good friends and everything.
Sorry. Winning a premiership doesn't matter about social distancing anyway.
Exactly.
Now, I know that your captain and coach hold the Premiership Cup first, obviously at the presentations. I guess, did you get the chance to hold the trophy for some photos, and did you get the chance to kiss the Premiership Cup?
I didn't kiss the Premiership Cup, but I did get the chance to hold it and take a few photos with my teammates, which is really nice.
Now, I can see you've got your Premiership medal around your neck, which I'll get you to show to our viewers. There it is. Now, the question I'm going to ask you, Sophie, is number one, how long did you wear your medals for after you got presented with it? And did you sleep with the Premiership medal?
I did. Slept with it on. I only took it off when I went to go shower, and then chucked it straight back on, and had been wearing it till our silly Sunday, which I think was the week after. So yeah.
So a whole full week that you've had it on.
Yes, and it's been hanging up in my room, just across my bed.
Now I have to talk to you about two particular embarrassing moments after the game. I think you know what I'm about to talk about because Mikaela picked this up when I had on the show not long ago. Now,
Yeah.
one was, I guess, the not knowing that the netball itself could actually come out of the trophy. Now, it happened at presentation where it was a pretty close near miss between, I guess, both your captain and your coach almost got falconed. And the second one was actually at the team photo, which actually did happen where both your teammates got falconed with the netball. I'm assuming that was one of the most embarrassing moments.
Yes, when Sid got falconed Mikaela, sorry, when she got falconed at the very end after celebrating, it was very funny because, we just won and she was so excited, and then to get hit with the ball in the face was pretty funny to see, and the news even capturing it and putting it in. So that was the funniest part, I think. But anyone getting falconed is pretty funny, I think, until you're the one that gets falconed. But yeah, no, good fun.
Now, I did mention that it did happen again. So it happened twice to Mikaela, which I know she was pretty embarrassed. And I think she actually said that she knew it was going to happen the second time, but she just, in the moment, of course, lifting the cup aloft in the Premiership photo, and of course, falcon her teammate as well at the same time.
Yes.
Tell us who that player was that also got falconed in that team photo, and when you were in that team photo, did you see it unfolding?
I think the other player was Rach Addison, but I'm not quite sure. I actually couldn't see from where I was standing. Too busy looking at the cameras for photos to see that, but I was very happy to watch all the replays of it at the end.
Yes, I think that was the most amazing photos that came out of the Falcons and everything else that involved.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a bit about the celebrations. Of course, back at the club.
Yes, I actually didn't end up going because I had some family friends coming around to my house just to celebrate. But I did see a couple photos and heard it was a very good time, and like everyone was just enjoying themselves, which is really good. And even the people who didn't play, they still came down to help celebrate and everything, which was really nice for them to come down and have a win for the club.
Now, Sophie, you're currently in Sydney at the moment, which is quite a long, long way from Wagga. I guess I'm assuming, I guess, is your home base in Sydney or down at Wagga?
Down at Wagga is my home base, but I've just been coming up to Sydney to play a bit of Prem League up in the comp here.
Now, I have to ask, as you mentioned that you missed the Saturday night, but I'm assuming you got to go to the Sunday, Silly Sunday, as you mentioned the week after. So the question I want to ask is, and I saw some amazing costumes that was involved in that. What did you come as?
Mine was a last minute costume, so definitely not as good as the rest of the girls, but I came as one of the girls from Mean Girls.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
the theme was starting with M, so
That's right.
yeah.
Uh, Now, let's talk a bit about your netball journey, Sophie. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
Well, I had when I was younger, I had played a lot of sports, and I think watching my older sisters play netball, I just wanted to have a go. So I started off in a little small club that was just starting out, and then I think one of the coaches told me I should try out for rep, so that's what I did, and was fortunate enough to get in. And then Marie Campbell, the coach from Mango, actually approached me and asked me if I wanted to play for Mango when I was 14, and I was so excited, and I was like, yes, of course I'll play. So was lucky enough to be part of Mango from a young age. And then I went up to Canberra one time to do trials for New South Wales and was lucky enough to make the team. So that was pretty exciting. And then had just been playing some competitions in Sydney in their Metro and Prem League and things like that. And then like going through things like N-Swiss and the Swifts Academy and being able to, fortunate enough to be able to take part in all those camps and like Aussie camps and things like that. So yeah, that was sort of my pathway, just going through the classic New South Wales pathway, which I think would be very different or maybe very similar to the Melbourne pathway, to the Victorian pathway. But yeah, that was my pathway.
Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, now you did mention about representative, and of course, I did get the heads up. Of course, you were part of the under-17 representing teams there. I guess any other highlights that stands out to you the most, and what does it mean to represent New South Wales and Australia, of course?
Yeah, there's been lots of highlights, I think, like in every stage of netball, but I think in those top three with like the Aussies, New South Wales and Swifts Academy, I think there's been lots of highlights, especially being able to represent your state and then being lucky enough to be selected as one of those to go to the Australian camp. Lots of highlights, meeting everyone from different states, and then you come back the next year and you see people from Aussie camp from different states and you're all friends, and yeah, really good. And then I think one of my biggest highlights is probably being able to play with the Swifts in their pre-game season against the Giants, which was pretty exciting, a bit daunting, but I was really nervous, but it was really good fun and I loved getting out there and being able to play.
Now, of course, I have to ask, what position do you play on the court? And if you had a preferred position where you'd love to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be?
Well, I actually play goal attack, and I started off at goal shooter, but I got moved to goal attack. And I think I've always wanted to play center, but the one time I got played center, I thought I was going to die because I was not fit enough. So center's probably not it for me anymore. But maybe goal defense I'd like to try. Goal defense or wing defense. I reckon that would be fun.
Now, what does the sport of netball mean to you, and especially playing for the Mango Goannas?
Yeah, I think the sport means a lot to me because it gives me like a chance to meet new people and just develop new skills that I can definitely use in real life and transfer them over. And Mango as a club is so important to me because they're just so supportive with everything, and they're like a really big family. So it's really nice to be part of their club, and like because I travel a lot to Sydney, so I think them knowing that and them just being really supportive is really great. Something you don't find a lot, I think.
Do you have any future ambitions, long or short term, in the sport of netball, Soph?
Yeah, I actually hope to play for the Swifts and maybe Australia one day, or whatever team will take me, but preferably the Swifts. But I'm pretty happy playing here now and getting to like live in the moment now and then focusing on that as well. But I think being able to concentrate on this at the same time and having the opportunity to play down here is really great.
Now, talking about the Swifts, now, of course, the Suncorp netball is still going. Unfortunately, the Swifts are not there this year because obviously they lost on the last weekend. Now, of course, Swifts is my favourite team, even though I'm based here in Melbourne. Now, do you have a favourite Swift player?
I don't. I love them all. They're just nah, I don't really know. When I hadn't met any of them and I didn't really know much because I never really watched netball, oddly enough. But when I had just heard about them, I sort of really loved Helen Housby because I'd seen her play one time. And I was like, I just love her. Like, I just want to be exactly like her and everything. And then when I like got to meet her, and it was so crazy. Like the first time I met her, she just hugged me and she was like, "Hi, I'm Helen." I was like, "I know you are." Like, I know you're Helen, and like was just so excited. But no, all the girls are absolutely beautiful. So can't pick a favorite actually.
Oh, you just made my day. Helen Housby is my favourite player as well in the Swifts. So I haven't met her before, so I'm hoping to meet her next season. Well, you
Yes.
just absolutely made my day. Uh, uh, Now, what would be your advice to our listeners and viewers out there that should get involved in country netball, especially there at the Goannas?
Yeah, I'd probably say give like 100% in everything that you do, whether it's training or a game, because I think you never know who's watching, and like some people who are watching have never seen you before, and you really want to like prove why you're there and why you're chosen for the Goannas and things like that. And giving 100% at training as well, because obviously if you don't train, how you're going to play, you're not going to improve. And I think not giving up is really important, because you have to prove why you're there, and like making those setbacks make you come back even stronger, I think.
Before we go into light-hearted questions about your teammates, of course, talking about your team itself there at the Goannas. Now, I got Vashti and Michaela to answer this question, which I'm going to get you to do the exact same thing, which is tell us a bit about all your amazing teammates there at the Goannas, one by one.
One by one. Okay. Well, Marie Campbell, she's our coach and she was a player, but she's just like the most amazing person ever. She's so kind and like just so giving with her time and everything, and really supports everyone 100%. I could go on about her for days because I love her, but we'll keep it short. Lisa Reynoldson, she's amazing. She's our assistant coach as well, and she's just so kind and like also very giving and stuff with her knowledge and everything. And she's just very like a gentle person as well, but she also pushes you to be your best. So I think that's really important. Who's next? Oh, we can do V. V is so funny. She's such a gorgeous girl. I think like whenever you're with her, it's just such a happy vibe. She's always smiling and just always like helping you feel happy, which is really good. And she always gets out there and does the work, which is nice. Michaela, she's also pretty funny. I think she's very competitive, but that's good to be competitive. What else about her? She's very knowledgeable, which is really good, I think, and she likes to share her knowledge, which is it's a really good quality. Phoebe Wallace, she's a little bit shy, but she's a good little player. She's a little gun, and she's quite funny once you get to know her and everything. Ruby Gillard has amazing sense of fashion. I think she's a little silent assassin when she plays, but she's also very funny once you get to know her. Claire Wallace, she's a bit quiet, a bit more serious, but yeah, she's a really great girl as well, and I think she's an amazing player too. Ash Reynoldson, she's so good. She's young and she's fit and fast and everything. She can play any position you put her in. I think that's really good to be so versatile. Rach Addison, she's such a lovely person. I think like she shares a lot of knowledge as well, and she's always very willing to like give up her spot for someone else if they need. She's very giving as well and gives you advice and everything, even in school, because she's a school teacher, so which is really great for me. Who else is there? Shannon Russell is so beautiful. She's a bit quiet, but once you get to know her, like she's so lovely, and she's an amazing defender. She definitely deserved that MVP in our grand final. So credit to her, and she's just lovely. I love Shan. I'm sorry if I forgot anyone.
It's all right. It's all good. Now, of course, you did mention as well that you're in Sydney because obviously you're playing there in your Prems team. I guess tell us who your Prems team is and how your team traveling at the moment.
So I'm part of South Coast Blaze, and they're like a regional based team. So all their girls are pretty much set in Illawarra Wollongong. And we're traveling pretty good at the moment. I think we've only lost a couple games throughout the season, but we've gone through pretty much undefeated. So our last week's game was pretty much a deciding game. The next 3 games was a deciding game, but we won last week. So we're definitely in finals, which is great, amazing. And because it's a new franchise as well, it's really different because I think no one really expected what we were going to be like. No one really expected us to be as strong as we are. So I think it was really great that we could come out firing and have a couple wins. So we're in finals, and I think next week's game just decides whether we come first or second. But we're heading into the finals, so it's pretty exciting.
So hoping to go for another premiership medal, I'm assuming.
Yes, hopefully.
Now, of course, you mentioned quite a few times that you show up to Sydney, which is, I think, is about a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive from Wagga. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, Soph, now, has Vashti convinced you to maybe play down here in Melbourne, which is only a 4 to 5 hour drive?
She has not tried to convince me, but I'm actually going to try and convince her to come to Sydney and play. It's a bit further, but she hasn't said anything about playing down in Melbourne, but I haven't really said anything about playing up in Sydney, but I'll get her.
Well, that might be a bit of a battle. Because she trains in a Melbourne-based club, so in the state league comp. So I can't wait to see where that one's going to head. Now, let's finish on a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates. Now, of course, we've already sort of answered this question already about what happened at the presentations with in this question. So to continue on with that, so any other embarrassing moments on court this season other than what happened at presentation and the team photo?
I don't think there have been many embarrassing moments for our team. Or I haven't had any embarrassing moments either. I think anyone that gets falconed, it's embarrassing for them. Funny for everyone else, but but I actually don't think we've had that many. Maybe a couple air balls. That's always a bit ooh.
Did you do one this year, so?
I definitely have done a few. And I've done the, oh my gosh. And I look straight at Marie and I'm like, oh no.
Yes. Now, talking about that embarrassing one on the team photo, as you mentioned, it was captured pretty much everywhere. The live stream, the local news. And I actually did see the local news one as well. Has that moment got captured like on actual camera as a photo?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
But I think someone definitely should go through the video and take some screenshots. I think the funniest part was that they showed it on Prime 7 News.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. It was too. What was the reactions when that was on the Prime News?
Oh, I think everyone found it so funny, but I think Sid and Rach were a bit, I can't believe they'd put that in, but I thought it was hilarious. I thought that was the highlight. It should be in highlights.
Oh, now, of course, who's the comedian in the team, Soph?
Yes. Oh, I'm not sure. Everyone's a bit of a comedian. Everyone's really funny, I think, in our team. But I think Phoebe Wallace and Ruby Gillard, once you get to know them, they're really funny. Just some things they say are just hilarious.
Any good singers and dancers we should know about?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I think our worst dancer is Mikaela Cole. I think. I don't know if she'd agree or disagree, but I think she's our worst dancer. Our best dancer is probably Marie, I think. She's pretty groovy. Best singer, probably Ruby Gillard when she gets into it. And worst singer is probably Claire Wallace.
Yes, Mikaela did mention about that. So Now,
Oh God.
any pre-game superstition or ritual?
Ooh, I don't really have any, but I think I have to pretty much always strap my left foot before my right. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm gonna get injured. It's not good. And I just have to, when I'm like stretching and stuff, I just have to really feel what needs stretching. And if I don't, I have to like do the same ones every time and always have to do leg swings. Those are my superstitions, even though I said I didn't have any.
Now we'll finish up with this last two questions. Now, obviously, as we mentioned, you're in Sydney, but you're from Wagga.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I'm assuming obviously your parents have been a major factor throughout your netball journey, and
Oh,
especially
yeah.
traveling 5 to 6 hours to get to Sydney. Now, I'm assuming you're pretty much based in Sydney during this Prem season.
Yeah, pretty much. And especially at the start of the season as well with New South.
I guess how special has your parents and your family been to travel? I guess to let you travel and for them to drive you from Wagga to Sydney and then back to Wagga and then back to Sydney throughout the season.
Yeah, extremely grateful to have my parents and family as well. My parents and family, I think a lot of kids don't get the same opportunities and they don't like their parents don't have the time to drive them up and down all the time. So I think like for my mum and dad to do that, it's really amazing. Really grateful for that as well. And I think sometimes I forget it until you see someone who says like, "Oh, your parents are so great for being able to take you here. Like I never got the chance to do it," sort of thing. And that's when I really remember that like it's not just me, like it's my mum and dad as well giving up the time and putting in the effort and the money into helping me really achieve my dreams and goals and everything. So I think they're really amazing as well and like love them so much. Like they're just so amazing, such great parents.
Now, I've got to finish off with this one last one. Now,
Yeah.
um, was there anyone that had like a pump up song before a game, and if so, who ran that playlist?
Ooh, we didn't actually have I don't think we were allowed to pump up too much with the music because everyone else playing at the same time. But I know at trainings we did listen to a few songs and a few like crowd noises and Mikaela was always the producer of the speaker, a very large one. Sometimes Marie would bring her large one, but I think everyone sort of contributed, but it was mainly Marie, V, and Sid who contributed to the tunes, I think. Sometimes they'd sing it free. They'd just do it with no music. Just sing it.
Now, am I assuming Sid is Michaela?
Yes. I always call her Sid because that's just how I learned her name.
So thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. It's from all of us here at Smash FM, congratulations on the Premiership win down there in the Riverina with the Goannas in particular. And of course, I want to wish you all the best for this Prem competition at the moment. Obviously, not long to go before that. Hopefully, the big grand final coming up for, of course, the South Coast team, and let's hope. Hopefully, we'll get to interview you yet again. Hopefully, in a couple more weeks' time, and talk a bit about this time the Premiership.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. And that's Sophie there, joins from the MCUE Goannas. Of course, winning the A grade back-to-back premierships in 2020 after defending Wagga Tigers, of course, a couple of weeks ago. If, of course, you want to get involved there, of course, it's only a 15-minute drive, of course, from Wagga. Of course, so you can get down there and get involved there for the 2021 season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Saturday. Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Monday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to Wagga in particular in the Riverina of New South Wales. And of course, speak to the MCUE Goannas netball team who won the A-grade Premiership a couple of weeks ago. And of course, we got the captain of the team as well as the A reserves coach as well, who was involved in that grand final as well. Of course, her name is Mikaela Cole. She joins us right now. Thanks, Mikaela, for joining us.
Afternoon, Will. Pleasure to have me on here. That's clear.
I guess we might as well start off with your coaching side of things first. Obviously, you coached in the A reserves on the day as well as playing. I guess for you, that would have been a really tough game to coach, knowing that you had to play later on in the day against the same club.
Yeah, it's super hard to switch off from that coaching role to a playing position. It's a completely different aspect of the game, and I leave at third quarter time to go and focus on my team and pumping up my team as a captain role. And it's super hard when you can hear all the crowd in the background still cheering for the previous game, particularly when it was a close game.
I know this is going to sound a silly question to ask, but did you sort of, had a feeling where that grand final was going in that last quarter when you were, getting ready for your own game?
I could tell that we were starting to lose because I could hear the Tigers crowd rearing up a bit more. So that kind of fired me up for my game a little bit because we obviously were playing the same team next in our grand final.
At presentations, that obviously the coaches get to speak in including the losing team. Did you get to do that, or did you get someone else to do that for you?
I got someone else to do that for me just so I could completely zone out of that game and not focus on that loss. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned before that obviously that loss in the A reserves got you fired up for what was going to happen in A grade, which seemed to work actually for your team, because obviously you faced up against Wagga Tigers, and obviously the footballers just came off a win as well, but around about the same time with the A reserves. I guess how much of a motivation was that to sort of, get yourself in the game, and how long did it take for you to get into the flow of the game?
Well, I was unaware of the reserve grade winning as of yet, because obviously we were warming up and they were still doing their presentations over there. But I really hate losing, so that really pumped me up in the warm up, that's for sure. Getting onto the court, I was a little bit nervous to begin with, but it only took me a couple minutes to settle into the game and the flow of the game. Yeah.
Now, when I spoke to Vashti and of course Sophie, who I've had on the show already, they mentioned, and I actually mentioned this to them as well, that I thought the turning point of the game was around about halfway through the second quarter, or the back end of the second quarter into the third quarter, and then it sort of just flowed on from there into the last quarter. Is that how you saw the game?
Yes, I agree. We had a bit of a shaky start, which is obviously nerves were present, and we have quite a young team, which a few of them haven't played previously in a grand final. So it'd probably take them a quarter or so to get used to it and the atmosphere. We also, at one stage, our goal attack, Sophie, had a bit of an asthma issue. So we were playing with one shooter for a few minutes, which certainly helped Tigers increase their lead by a couple. And then into second quarter, we got our groove and then continued to build on that through to the last minute of the game.
Now, I asked this question to Sophie not long ago, which I'm going to ask you. When was it during the game that, you got the chance just to enjoy the moment?
As I have said before, Tigers are known for a comeback. So I didn't feel comfortable at any stage, probably until the last minute or so, when I knew that they weren't going to come back from there. But obviously still didn't switch off from the game and continued to try and increase our win and increase our point margin.
How good was it when the final whistle went and you went through the whole season undefeated, and of course, which made it back-to-back premierships?
A sigh of relief, really, because we had so much pressure on us this year, having come from a premiership last year, and just we worked so hard when it was unknown, multiple Zoom sessions a week, when there was no season, all up until the point of that last game and that last minute. So massive sigh of relief and a lot of excitement.
Now, let's talk a bit about the season itself. Obviously, it was a short season, and I believe, and I think you mentioned it as well, that it was a combined competition as well, because obviously one of the leagues folded weeks and months prior to the actual season starting. I guess, firstly, how difficult was that, and were you optimistic as a captain and obviously as a reserve coach that the season was even going to get underway?
I had no idea, and I was just holding on to hope, continuing to work with the girls. I led a lot of the Zoom sessions, so I just continued to give hope and just continue to increase our fitness in the hope that there would be a season. And I'm so glad they went ahead with it, because it was definitely still worthwhile, and it was so amazing to get that opportunity during such an unknown time where so many things are different.
How important was the Zoom sessions throughout the year?
I think it gave us an upper edge on a lot of other teams, as I don't think a lot of other teams were training during that period. So our fitness probably would have been above a lot of others in that aspect. Kept our team connection alive as well during the off season, being able to see each other more.
Now, let's talk a bit about the final series, because obviously you just went straight through to the grand final from the second semi-final, which was a bit of a heart stopper, I believe. It ended up being a 1-goal result.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the second semi-final.
Well, we probably went into it a little bit complacent, as the last time we versed Tigers, we won by 20 points. So I think there was a little bit of complacency, and Tigers changed around their positions, which worked really well for them and was completely unexpected by us. So, and they got in front early, got the jump on us early, so it was hard for us to claw back towards the end, but got lucky to get away with the win in the end.
A lot of players went to the prelim final between Wagga Tigers and Osborne, who played in the prelim. I guess, what was your take on the prelim, and was there any point that you just, started to scout on one particular team, in preparations for the grand final?
It could have gone either way, in my opinion. They're both great teams with players that have a lot of skill. It was probably towards the last quarter that Tigers started to come away with a bit more ball and converting a bit more, whereas Osborne were turning it over before they got the opportunity to get into their goal circle. So at that point in time, we were starting to watch Tigers a little bit more and just seeing what they were doing throughout the court and throughout the different zones.
Now, I asked Sophie this question the other day about that prelim final, and I guess she mentioned that she would have preferred to play the Tigers, which you've got your wish, compared to Osborne, for the fact that it was a bit of an unknown in regards to it was their first year into this sort of new competition, sort of a combined league competition, where obviously they came from a different league. Was that something that was a bit unknown going into the season about some of these teams that went into your competition?
We were expecting Osborne to be quite strong, which was accurate, and I agree. I would rather play Tigers, as we know most of their players, how they play, their tactics, the speed of most players, things like that. Whereas Osborne, it's a little bit more unknown and don't know what they're going to do with position-wise, and just hard to read compared to Tigers, which we've played for so many years.
Now, just going back to the grand final for a moment. Now, I think you know exactly what I'm going to ask you in particular, which has been mentioned by Vashti and Sophie, and of course as well. Now, the presentations, of course, two, I would say, embarrassing moments, and unfortunately, you're involved in both of those moments. Obviously, where the ball, the game day netball, obviously came off the trophy, and obviously bobbed you and your coach, or actually it might have been close call in that one, but definitely
Yeah.
got you on the team photo as well. The second time around, tell us which one of those was most embarrassing out of the two?
Definitely the second one, because I'd already done it the first time and realised that I shouldn't do it again, yet I continued to do so. So, and the fact that I have a photo and a video of it as well for the second one is very embarrassing.
I don't think I've seen the photo of the team one. Okay, I might have to have a look at that again.
There is certainly one floating around somewhere.
Now, of course, when it happened the first time, did it actually hit you or your coach?
It hit my coach first, then hit me, bang smack in the face. So
I'm assuming, the spur of the moment, it was like, you just wanted to hold the trophy up high. I guess compared to all that, I guess it didn't really phase you in regards to, you still wanted to hold that trophy high.
yeah, I was still running on a bit of adrenaline from winning, so I wasn't too fazed by it, but definitely embarrassing. Would have rather it not happen.
Now the team photo one. Now, of course, it was you and, of course, your teammate as well. Now, you must tell us who that teammate that also got bopped in the head by the netball, and I guess did she react to it?
Rachel Addison, one of our new players this year, it also hit her in the face, and she was a little bit taken aback because it hadn't happened to her yet, but I was just kind of brushed it off like, oh, that's already happened to me, it's fine.
Now, I believe as well, talking about this up, this is the last one I'm going to ask you about the embarrassing moments. I believe, was it put on 7 Prime News on the same day about that issue?
Yes, it was that exact video of it hitting us in the head, yes.
I'm sure you got a chance to watch it back, and I'm assuming you were hoping that wasn't going to happen.
I was hoping they wouldn't include that in the video, but I guess a moment like that, they would get a laugh out of it. So something you kind of can't miss.
Now, let's talk a bit about your teammates first. Of course, you can do this one by one, like Sophie and Vashti has done, and you can start in any position on the court.
Well, I'll start from our shooting end. Ash, youngest in our team, full of energy and life, just such a little sweetheart as well. Great inclusion to our team. And then there's Sophie, absolute superstars, killing it at netball and getting so many opportunities. It's great to see how much she's improved from when I first started working with her in the shooting circle, her first year at Mango, to this year. It's just amazing the amount of improvement she's shown. Next, we have Claire and Phoebe, the 2 sisters that play for us, which is pretty awesome to be able to play with your own sister. Both quite quiet girls, and last year I don't think they said too much, but they're starting to come out of their shell a bit more, which is awesome to see. Same thing as Sophie, those 2 Wallace girls have improved so much from the first year that they played to now. It's awesome the work they've done under Muzz and Lisa's leadership. We also have Ruby, who's our new player this year, who has previously come from a Farah League team, I believe. The Hawks, yeah. Quite young. Her passion is just awesome out on the court. Shannon as well. She's our goal defence, just an absolute workhorse. We'll just keep fighting to the end of a netball game. Such a personality off the court as well. And of course, Vashti, our new player this year, come across from VNL, just brings such an atmosphere and laughter and vibe to the team, which is awesome to have her in the team, and hopefully she comes back next year.
Now, Mikaela, I need to ask you about Vashti, because I believe you and Vashti got along pretty close throughout the season, and especially seen by all the photos afterwards in the celebrations. I guess how special is to have such an amazing player like Vashti, and especially an amazing personality like her?
It's great because I'm usually the only noisy one on the court, and it's usually just me, my voice out there. So it's great to have someone else with a bit more voice out there as well, so I don't hear myself talking all the time. She stays at our place quite regularly when we go out and stuff for Mango, and I've got to know her quite well, and she's just such a lovely person. I really hope she likes the team enough to come back and play next year.
Now, the question I need to ask you, Mikaela, has she convinced you at all to maybe have a go down here in the VNL?
No, she actually hasn't, but I'll leave that one to her because she's probably a bit better than me at netball. So,
you know, we would love to have you down here in Melbourne, that is for sure, especially with your leadership and obviously coaching as well. Now, of course, talking about coaching, tell us a bit about your Premiership coaches there at the Goannas.
It was my first year officially coaching, and to get a position such a high grade is awesome. And my mum is obviously in the A reserve team, so to get the opportunity to coach my own mum is certainly not something people get to do every day. So I'm really grateful for that. The fact that I coached our team all the way to the grand final is such an achievement, in my opinion. Even though we didn't come away with the win, the girls played their hearts out to the last minute, and super proud of them. So hopefully next year get the same opportunity and come back and hopefully win a grand final. Yes, so we have Muzz and Lisa. They just bounce off each other. Such different coaching styles. It works so well. Muzz puts in so much effort and so much time into individually working players, their plays and how they play. And Lisa has just such an insight into the dynamic of the team and making sure everyone's all right, and just noticing little things, an eye for detail that she'll pick up little points to help out people with. So a great combo to have.
Now let's talk a bit about your netball journey. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
I was basically born on a netball court. My mum played with me till she was 8 months pregnant, so probably not the best, but anyways. And my family has been out of Goannas for 3 generations, so it was basically a given that I would come and play here. And as soon as I was old enough, at the age of 14, I was straight away trialling out and slowly making my way up the teams as I progressed in skill and age.
Of course, what position do you play on the court? And if you had a preferred position where you love to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be?
To start off the year, I was playing goal shooter, which I generally have never played before. So it was definitely something different for me. And then in our first game against Tigers, the round game, I switched into wing attack, and that just seemed to flow better for my game. And Ash, our new goal shooter, it just seemed to work better with her in there and Sophie together. So we transitioned into that move instead throughout the rest of the season and into the finals. Personally, I would probably like goal attack the best, but during a final, I'd rather play a centre court position because shooting during finals is just a lot of pressure.
Now, I have to ask, any other highlights that stands out to you throughout your netball journey?
Getting to play a season with my mum in A grade was a really awesome opportunity. I don't think I can name any other players that have gotten that opportunity to play top level netball for our area together with their own mum. So
now I need to ask you this question. Now, I believe after you I think it was almost about a week after you won the Premiership in the Riverina. Didn't some of the players play in another grand final midweek?
So we also have a Mango team entered into the Wagga competition. So a lot of the players from Riverina also play in the Wagga competition. So it's similar competition and skill-wise. We're only missing 3 players out of our Mango team. So it's basically our full team. And then we have 3 A reserve girls who Muzz and I thought about and decided to help them develop their skill more and give them the opportunity to play against harder players. And yeah, we did come away with a win there, which is awesome. 2 premierships in 4 days is pretty unbelievable, but yeah, that did occur.
I guess how was it like to I think to have, to win the grand final in the footy netball in the Riverina competition, then the celebrations was, I believe it went until Monday morning. And then obviously back up for another one midweek on Wednesday.
I was still a little bit wounded when it came to Wednesday, but I toughed it out and put on the netball dress after it had been washed through of alcohol and everything else. But yeah, it was great to step back on the court and be given another opportunity to come away with another grand final win.
Now, we mentioned before quite a few times in this interview about being the captain and the coach. Which one's more important to you?
They have equal value to me. They're both different styles of things that I have to do, and both two different opportunities that I don't take lightly, and I'm very humbled to be given both of those opportunities. Being a captain just helps me develop so many more attributes and skills to my game, so much more calm and patience, and it's just such a role that I love to play, and I hope to get another opportunity to lead another team into a grand final.
Now, considering what you've already achieved throughout your netball journey, what does the sport of netball mean to you, and especially being the MCUE Goannas?
Netball is a massive part of my life. I'm training most days of the week during the season, and we're about to start pre-season already, and I'm super excited for that. Despite it is quite early, but it feels a little bit lost without it, to be honest. Being able to play out at Mango is awesome as well. It's just like an extended family, and the love and respect that players and committee members all have for each other, and the amount of support that's given is awesome.
Do you have any future ambitions in the sport of netball?
Well, I'm hoping next year to hopefully get another captaincy role and hopefully another coaching opportunity, whether that be a reserve or another team. And in the future, I hope to also break my mum's record of 400 A-grade games. So big boots to fill.
Where you currently at the moment in games wise?
I've already passed 100, so I'm a quarter of the way there, but getting there slowly.
So another 300 to go.
Yes.
Now, what will be your advice to our listeners and viewers out there, especially in the city, especially either in Sydney or in Melbourne or in regional Victoria, that should get down to MCUE Goannas and, of course, get involved in the sport of netball out there in the country?
Playing in country sport is just so much different, the social side to it. And I feel like during city sports, you play your game and then you just leave. Whereas country sports, you're always together, you're always hanging out, so many social functions and just so many opportunities to make friends and continue to learn about other people. So it's a really great opportunity to play in a country team rather than a city team, just a completely different game. And I think V noticed that as well, playing that it's just completely different.
And for everyone out there, you have no idea where the Goannas are based. You might as well tell us where the Goannas are based, where one that and maybe thinking about getting down to the back-to-back champions.
Well, in short answer, in the middle of nowhere, but it's about 20 minutes out of Wagga in the small town Mangoplah, and there's really not a lot there. There's a pub, a general store, a hall, and that is about it. A few houses here and there, but that is about it.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions. But before I do that, now I can see you've got your medal around your neck, which I'll get you to show our amazing viewers.
It's slightly broken, but it is alive.
There you go. Now, I guess the question I've got to ask you, it's a two-part question. The first one is, how long did you wear your medal around your neck for? And did you sleep with it?
I certainly wore it for a few days straight. It was very dirty. It's been through the wash, minus the actual metal part, but the strap has been through the wash because it was disgusting after wearing it for 3 days straight and sleeping in it. So yes, I did sleep with it as well.
And the second part of the question, obviously you were the first one or two people that got to hold the Premiership Cup first. My question is, did you take the Premiership Cup home and sleep with it? And did you get the chance to kiss the Premiership Cup?
Well, no kissing because of COVID, but certainly a lot of touching and looking at it. And yes, it did stay in my bed one night, but it's back with the club now. I lose a lot of things, and I've lost a Premiership medal before, so I'm sticking clear of it from now.
Now, out of the premierships that you've won there at Mango, is there one particular one that stands out to you the most?
I think this year and last year's equal in value to me, because this year was such an unknown season and working so hard when we didn't know what was going to occur, and the fact that it off is just awesome. But then there is also last year where there was more teams, more competition, so it was probably slightly harder to go through all the way to the grand final when you're competing with more teams. So yeah, both equal in value, I would say.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates. Now, I have to ask, what was the most embarrassing moment by anyone on the team, and what was it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take the cake for that one, with the ball hitting me in the face in front of everyone on live video. But yeah, I don't think anyone's done anything that silly apart from me.
Have you had a chance to watch the replay of it?
Yes, I have watched the game back. After all the celebrations, I got the opportunity to watch the A reserve and A grade one back, just to see where everything went well and what didn't work, etc.
Including the embarrassing moment, I'm assuming? Or you tried to skip that?
Unfortunately, I did watch it to see how bad it was.
Oh, now who's the comedian in the team?
A lot of them are quite quiet because they are quite young, but Muzz certainly cracks up a few jokes here and there, that's for sure.
Any good singers and dancers we should know about?
Absolutely not. They're all horrible. Definitely netballers, not singers or dancers.
Now, during the Premiership celebration, obviously it was a pretty big night by looking at the photos as well, with obviously the footballers and obviously the netballers as well. How was it?
Great fun, just the atmosphere, even though A Reserve won, but 2 out of 3 teams is pretty awesome. So all our supporters and all our players were getting right around everyone that had won, and even the A Reserve girls for even getting to the grand final. So awesome opportunity to celebrate with everyone.
Now, with Silly Sunday, I know there was some brilliant costumes involved in that. Who dressed up the best out of the costume wise, and what did you come as?
I think my mum, I would have to say, won best on for costumes. She came as a mad scientist and had these smoke bombs that were just like exploding out of her pocket everywhere, and everyone was just like, what is going on? I came as Medusa. I don't know if you know what that is, but the theme was M. So yeah.
I was going to ask you about the theme. Obviously, the theme was something to do with M for Mango.
Yeah, let it go for Mango. Yeah.
Now, I have to ask this question. Now, who has the best nickname in the team?
I feel like you've said this because you know that they call me a nickname. I feel like I've been here. I'm known as Sid. I don't know if you've seen Ice Age, but Sid the Sloth is basically what they call me, because I apparently used to look like a sloth when I was younger. So it's just stuck with me ever since, and it's a lot easier to say on the court rather than Mikaela.
Yes, your teammates did set me up for that one. I was going to say, if you weren't going to ask that question, I was going to ask you how your nickname came about, but you've already mentioned it to me, so that's all good. Do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I eat the same meal every day, and I eat at the same times during the games before I play. So and I eat the same dinner the night before every time.
You mentioned that you set challenges or obviously with these Zoom sessions that you did early in the year, because obviously COVID, lockdown, etc., and restrictions. I guess, what sort of challenges did you do? And did you used to do like this toilet roll sort of thing that everyone was doing?
No, I can't say we did try that. We just did a lot of more fitness and activities like that. Got a ball in our hands a lot of the time. It was quite difficult over Zoom, however, to show people drills and stuff like that with the camera angle and not being able to see everything. So it was challenging, but we still did multiple sessions a week, and a lot of the girls turned up, which is really awesome to see.
Was there any funny moments? Of course, minus the embarrassing moment that we've already mentioned quite a few times in this interview already.
Oh, well, funny moments, I would have to say Silly Sunday. There was a lot of tackling. I don't know why. We don't play football, but it just an obsession with doing it. If you could see someone walking across the lawn, it would just be like, right, eyes on them, who's tackling them, and then just people flying everywhere, and resulted in a lot of bruises.
Oh, and of course, I'll finish up with this one last one, which is describe your team as many words as you like.
Fun, dedicated, hardworking, connected. Yeah, I guess that's all I've got off the top of my head for the moment.
Well, Mikaela, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. We hopefully, once the restrictions and border restrictions can ease up, we'll definitely making sure we come up to Wagga. Well, 15 to 20 minutes drive, or somewhere close to Wagga, to hopefully get to see you and your teammates in action, and hopefully, maybe this time next year we'll be hopefully interviewing you and your teammates a bit about maybe a three-peat and maybe a start of a dynasty there at Goannas.
No pressure at all, but hopefully we'll get there.
And
thank you so much for having me.
No worries. And that's, of course, Mikaela Cole there, of course, the back-to-back A-grade Premiership player, as well as the captain of the team there at the MCUE Goannas. Of course, if you want to get down there, you can. We'll put all the details up on how you can go about it. Of course, especially as she mentioned, pre-season starting very soon. So make sure you get down and get involved in the best country netball team in the country at the moment. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away, here on Lockdown Monday.